all my movie maniacs out there, it is that time once again. Sorry I've been away for a little while, but I've got a couple of reviews for you for films that came out last week, and one of them is Minions. Now, Minions is the animated prequel to Despicable Me and Despicable Me 2, and it gives us the backstory to those lovable yellow minions that circled and served Gru so faithfully through 2 films. Now, here in their backstory, we learn how the minions are a tribe, and they go through looking for the most evil person to serve. That's their whole purpose in life. But soon they hit a dry spell where they can't find any villain, and their life starts to lose meaning. So 3 of the minions set out to look for the ultimate villain for them to serve. And they find it in the form of Scarlet Overkill. After a bit brief montage adventure on the road, we get to meet Scarlet Overkill, voiced by Sandra Bullock, who enlists the help of these 3 minions to help her steal the crown jewels of England and take over England and maybe possibly even the world. And we see how the minions try to do this, but of course in true minion fashion, things don't go according to plan. Now, when I saw this was going to come out and we saw the trailer, an extended trailer, I'm like, oh, don't show me too much. And I will say that trailer is pretty much the very beginning of this film. You know, not to say that it ruined it all, but it took me a little while to get into it because I'm like, okay, we've seen this about half a dozen times with every trailer I've seen in front of other movies. So, you know, that part wasn't surprising. But as the film went along, I did have a number of surprises, and I will say overall I was entertained. The big surprise here was the Nelson family. Now, Walter Nelson is the father of this family. He's voiced by Michael Keaton, but they were such a great cast of characters. The minions have to get to Villain Con to meet Scarlet Overkill or meet a villain they can serve, and the family takes them along, and that part's in the trailer, so it's not a spoiler. But this family is hilarious. They were the most entertaining part for me in the film, in all honesty. I would love to have seen a movie just involving them. Think of them as kind of like The Incredibles without superpowers, and the exact opposite, but just as entertaining and diverse in their personalities of the different members of the family, but so enthusiastic. Really enjoyed the Nelson family. Did not expect their characters in this film, and definitely entertaining. Now, Sandra Bullock was having a lot of fun with her Scarlet Overkill character. She really should play more villains. Would love to see her play more villains, you know, because she was just hamming it up and eating it up, and her voice acting was very good in this. And I enjoyed the Scarlet Overkill character pretty much, except I was expecting her kind of to be solo, but there's part of the way they wrote her character which surprised me, considering the way she was kind of promoted in the trailer. So it didn't take away from me, it just kind of surprised me, but like, oh, we're going a little more traditional type route. Okay, but definitely an interesting character. All the other characters that the minions run into are very entertaining as well. It was well written for this animated film, though I will say that I didn't find it quite as enjoyable as the first 2 Despicable Me's. The minions do not get annoying with their talk that they have. You might think so at first, but you actually kind of get used to it and start understanding them and realize there's a certain method to their madness, the way they talk. I will say it really gets kind of outrageous near the end in a good way. I loved it, the direction they took with it, didn't see it coming, and it was a pleasant surprise like a lot of things in this film. Now, my boys, I took honorable son number 1 and number 2 to it. They're teenagers, and they enjoyed this film as well. And again, this is a good family entertainment. I think everybody will find something to like in this film, especially the adults. They may get a kick out of some of the innuendos in here. There's not as many, okay, but they will catch some of the references in here. I think that younger kids won't, but the younger kids are just going to love the minions and just the antics that they get into. Not as mature level as Despicable Me 1 and 2, but I will say it is a decent prequel, and it's made for the younger crowd, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. I give it 3.5 stubs. Overall, it did not disappoint. I thought it was going to be worse than what it actually was. I found some laughs in there, and it at least came out of the theater with a smile on my face and humming the tune, which I didn't expect to see at the end credits, which you should stay all the way through the end credits for, because there is a lot of stuff that goes on. But they play the song Mellow Yellow, and for those of you who are familiar with this classic song, it's an interesting choice to play at the end of an animated children's film. But so check it out if you have seen Minions. Leave your comments down below. Love to hear your thoughts. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Tell your friends their friends, everybody, I'd love for in a year to be at 1,000 subs. A man can dream, right? We're hitting our 9-year anniversary, and I'm still doing this after 9 years thanks to your support. It's because of you guys I am here. Thank you so much, and as always, remember, till next time, keep that ticket stub.